On this week's episode of Bungalower and The Bus, we're at Palmer's Garden and Goods talking about Lucky's closing.
We're also talking about Lime scooters. They're finally here in Orlando.
And there's a dog-friendly dining permit you can get to keep dogs in your, I don't know, brewery.
All right. Welcome to Bungalower and The Bus. I am the bus, John Busdecker.
And I'm the log, crackling on the fire, Brendan O'Connor from Bungalower.com.
Hey, Brendan, how are you tonight?
You know what? I was a little miserable because of the rain.
Uh-huh.
But our new buddy Andrew here at Palmer's Garden and Goods just set a little campfire for us.
Yeah, we're hanging out in the gardens. We're sitting in two beautiful chairs, relaxing by a campfire during Sip and Stroll.
And John, you know I like to sit at a campfire with you.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
I'm a little mad that we're not cuddling, though. You're too far away.
It's early in the show.
Early.
We'll see what happens.
Every month, Palmer's does a little Sip and Stroll because they have their wine and beer license.
Yes.
And you can come and drink and look at plants and
hear
enjoy
music and hang out in the gardens.
Live music, twinkling lights. It actually kind of feels like those little quiet parts of like Epcot or Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
You can just find a little nook, have a glass of wine, and
or beer like me.
Yeah.
I'm having a beer tonight.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want to do. Jaguar's Wine is doing the wines, and I love it. February, they won't be having one. They're doing a terrarium class instead, but they're going to do 2 in March.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And we should say, if you don't know, Palmer's is in Audubon Park, right on Corinne. Pretty easy to find.
Close to Red Light.
Yeah.
It's been here forever. And, man, there's a giant oak tree covered in moss, covered in resurrection fern. This is like Florida.
That's right.
This is beautiful.
And the good thing is, if you don't get here during Sip and Stroll, you can still drink at Palmer's. If you just want to come here on a Saturday and look at some plants, they have beer and wine for sale all the time, so you can sip and stroll anytime.
Thank God.
I think every store and everywhere should be like that. I think if you go and get your driver's license renewed, you should get a beer.
And then drive away.
That's well, I mean, in moderation, of course.
We'll be talking a little bit later about a place where you used to be able to go grocery shopping and having a beer.
It's true.
But now you can't.
Not anymore.
Here on Bungalower and The Bus, we talk about all of the top headlines in Orlando's downtown bungalow neighborhoods, including Audubon Park, where we are tonight.
College Park,
Thornton Park, Winter Park, too, sometimes, if we want to.
Mm-hmm. Anywhere we want to, really.
They're rich. They could talk about themselves.
This is our show. We can talk about whatever
we want.
We can talk about Omaha, Nebraska if we want to.
We could. What was your
Nobody
week?
will listen.
What was your week like? What happened?
My week's been crazy, actually, Brendan.
Tell me about it.
Crazy.
I heard you went viral.
I did go viral, and that is not a disease that I have.
Well,
maybe, but no. I in my day job, I work at the Orange County Sheriff's Office, and I'm the storyteller there. I shoot video. I highlight the good work our agents, or not our agents, but our agency is doing.
Right.
And so one of those was about a video that I posted on Monday about 2 of our deputies who ran towards a crash. The car had flipped over in the middle of the night. Car lit on fire. And so our 2 deputies pulled this guy out. The guy ended up being okay. He didn't break anything, no internal damage, had a few scrapes here and there. But the guy didn't know any of this happened. He had sort of blacked out. He was unconscious. And when he came to, he was in the hospital. And when I contacted him after I interviewed the 2 deputies, he had no idea none of this happened to him until I told him. Yeah. So it was pretty crazy. And eventually they got to meet each other. I did a video. We posted it on our Facebook page. It had 1 million views in one day.
In one day.
1.5, I'll say. 1.5 days. So,
what do you think it'll get to? 5 million?
Who knows? A lot of times videos will spike and then they sort of plateau. So
and someone will share it and it'll go crazy.
You never know. And
you had a news agency picked it up too?
A few. We had Now This News, which has 14 million followers
Now
on Facebook. Yeah.
I follow them.
Yeah, they contacted us and wanted the video. And all the local stations did. So it was really cool. And
John, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Well, I do good work all the time. This one just happened to take off. But these are the things I do. I highlight those things. And it was really cool because these both of these deputies said, and even the guy, he's like, had they not been there, he would have been dead. I mean, nobody would have seen the accident because it was so early in the morning. It was far off the road. They just happened to hear it. That was the thing. They were within earshot, and they heard this car accident, and they went rushing over, and that's what they found.
Do you guys have your own YouTube channel for the Sheriff's Department?
We do. Our own YouTube, our own Vimeo. YouTube doesn't do so well. It's just not where our viewers are, but we put it there in case somebody sees it.
I think you'll start seeing that pick up because you guys are producing so many viral videos.
Yeah.
They're all getting picked up.
I appreciate it. No, I hope so, but
Miss Erin from Digress is asking us if we want wine, but we're good, girl. We're good. Hey, you want to talk a little bit about Sip and Stroll? Do you want to give us a little shout out?
So Palmer's. Look for our Sip and Stroll. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook because we're going to be having some events once a month and probably more often. And we have our beer and wine license now. Is it not working? Anytime you come to buy a plant or something for your home, you can get a glass of wine. But also look for our events because it's really fun. We've got a fire out here. We have live music. And we're drinking. So
That's right.
Here we are.
That's right. It's a lot of fun. Me and Brendan
well said, Aaron.
We're having a good time.
Clearly a poet.
Yes. So, thank you, Aaron. But yeah, anyway, check it out. If you didn't get a chance to see it, check it out on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or wherever. Just go to Orange County Sheriff's Office. It's a good video.
I loved it. I watched it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you. Whenever I see your videos come up.
Thank you. How about you? Did you have some good news this week?
Yeah. What happened this week? We're launching a new buy local program with Bungalower, and it's kind of just an offspring from. We have this Bungalower Buddies membership program where you give a donation to Bungalower, and then that qualifies you to get like email deals once a month to really cool things that are happening around town or cool new businesses, new restaurants.
How do I sign up for that?
Just go to support us on bungalower.com and you'll see there's buttons everywhere. There's a little place on the bottom of our top 10 things newsletter. If you want to just drop 10 to $20, that'd be great. You could do recurring. There's people that do recurring every month. It's like a tithe for your local
Brendan
news.
needs it.
I'm not pushing it. But an offspring of that now is I've always wanted something where you could just hold a card and just go to people who just want to do discounts all the time for Bungalower readers. And we're ready to do that. And we'll be launching, it's like a keychain. It looks like a room key.
Ooh.
This is Bungalower Buddies.
Really?
And you can have it. I'll be getting you one soon, John.
Thank you.
And you'll be getting stuff. And this month, it looks like you'll be able to get 20% off at the Coop.
The Coop?
Yeah. They'll
open Sundays now.
Open Sundays, and they're doing brunch. So
Lord's Day.
The Lord's Day. Even the Lord took a break for brunch.
Uh-huh.
And you'll be able to get 20% off by using this room key. So if you want to get that room key, you at least have to give us $20. We'll be setting that up soon on bungalower.com. I'm really excited about that program.
It's like a AAA card. You get a discount all around town.
But it's all local businesses. We're heavily curating who's there, and it's all gonna be cool people.
I love it. I love it.
I went to the Formosa neighborhood meeting, which could sound really boring.
It does.
But they talked about all my favorite topics.
Which is
Orlando Ballet's new building.
Okay.
And parking.
All right.
So,
were they happy or not happy?
Not happy. And you might even say livid, John. They kind of chased the Orlando Ballet guy out of the room.
Really?
Yeah. Like, it was crazy to watch. And I was taking lots of notes. And I'll be writing about it soon. It turns out, so when that was first proposed, Orlando Ballet kind of, and they're sometimes sponsors with us. We work with them. I'm excited about their new building. But when they proposed this, they said they had an agreement with Orlando Science Center for parking at that garage.
And we should say the new ballet is off of Princeton and Orange Avenue.
They basically knocked down the Lock Haven Neighborhood Center to build a new ballet building.
Over by the Science Center and the hospital.
But they told the neighborhood that they had an agreement with the Orlando Science Center for parking. They don't have an agreement.
No.
And they're dealing with that now. At least they are welcome to pay during the day.
Yep.
Normal fee.
$5
to park in there. But if there's a special event, they will not give it to them for free. And that means all those people are parking in the streets. And their neighborhood is not happy.
Can they not just pay $5?
You could, but you could pay $5, or you could just jam your car in front of someone's house.
That's true.
They don't care. They're all about to go see a ballet thing, in and out. and there were people who couldn't park in their driveway because there's so many cars in the streets.
So I guess I see both sides of this. It's a public street, right?
It is.
I'm allowed to park on a public street.
You certainly are. And we went through this with East End Market because there's people who live around East End Market saying they put up signs and say you can't park here. But that's not legal.
It's not legal. I mean, it's a public street. However, if you want to be a good neighbor, and I'm sure the ballet wants to be a good neighbor, you might not want everybody parking on the street.
Discourage it. And also the city should be looking at that and then maybe painting the curbs or something saying where you can and can't park during peak hours.
Yeah.
But that was brought up, and these people were like, on the north side of Lake Formosa, we don't want our curbs painted. That's trashy, and that's more of a South Formosa thing. And it's like 6 houses around this lake.
Yes.
Please find it. Anyway, it was just a little crazy. And
but there's tons of parking around there. I mean, like you said, there's the Orlando City or the Orlando Science Center garage. There's the Florida Hospital, Advent Health.
Both you have to pay for, but
you do.
Orlandoans don't like paying, and especially if these are winter park people who love ballet. They are not used to having to pay to park.
But they used to have to pay to park to go downtown to see stuff.
Downtown Orlando?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't like that. They don't like it. They want to do it if they don't have to.
Well,
that's a gross generalization. And the other topic, John, and then we'll move on, was the Mills Park people and the lift station.
Yeah, the poo station, as you call it.
So the people who bought that big dirt lot are now, they own the building rights for the entire Mills Park property. And as such, they are now in charge of the homeowners association that runs that lift station.
Okay.
Because it's a private lift station, which is why the city can't really do anything about it leaking all the time and spilling into Lake Formosa. So this guy came basically to tell the group, we're on this, we're going to fix it, we have everything lined up. EPA showed up, the Florida Environmental Protection Agency. They were there. And they were like, well, good, because you have a deadline of February 23rd, and if you don't meet the deadline, he says this in front of everybody there, like, we'll fine you big dollars, and you have to meet it. And the guy was like, well, that's great, but we can't get this stuff through the city of Orlando. And the city of Orlando reps are there, and they were like, well, file it, and we'll see if it fits, and we'll do it. And then, so it was like all in front of all of these like homeowners.
Did you feel like you were at like a party with a mom and dad who
were
like
fighting?
Each other? Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. And then the homeowners were like, you're not going to fix nothing. Nobody's going to fix this. The city doesn't care. We're going to have rivers of poo. They didn't say poo. He swore.
Yeah.
Flowing through the streets, and people are playing it, and nobody tells them their dogs are running in sewage. They bring them home. And John, it was exactly what you want a neighborhood community meeting to
was
be.
Was that somebody's house or something?
In the ballet building, in their boardroom, and that
That's
was lost on everybody.
That's awkward.
Only if you care about irony, which none of those people seem to care about. And they chased that guy, the ballet guy, out of the ballet boardroom and he left. He was like, all right, I've done my thing. I'm out. See ya. And
walk up before you guys go.
It was just so crazy. And so I'll be going to more community meetings in my future. I was on the edge of my seat. I love that kind of stuff.
All right. Sounds great.
I also got to ride a Lime scooter for the first time.
I saw that there was like testing of the Lime scooters. These are new. If you haven't heard, we're getting rid of bikes. We're throwing them in Lake Eola.
Which I learned there because they told us don't do that. We've been told multiple times by their reps, we're not getting rid of the bikes. Everything's going to be fine. But then slowly they've been taking the bikes away.
Yeah.
Which you would have noticed if you ride Lime bikes, right? Because you're like, how come I can't find any? Because they're gone, Martha.
Yes.
They're gone.
So scooters were approved a few months or weeks ago, and now they're actually on the streets, right?
Yeah, they hit the streets. So I did this safety class, and then as soon as the safety class was over, they started putting them out all over the streets.
And the safety class was in a parking garage,
parking garage. They closed off the 5th floor of the Geico garage.
Over by the Amway.
Right behind the Amway. And
how many nerds were there to learn how to ride a scooter?
Mostly media people, but there were a few nerds. They had like a tech nerd kind of feel.
I say nerds, and I mean nerds, actually. I saw you with your cute helmets on.
It was fun. We have a video up on Instagram. I purposely did not take any footage of me on one. Nobody wants to see it. Sorry, the most handsome man just walked in.
I'm already here.
Who are you?
How-
And it was fun. I did all right.
What did they teach you in this safety
Wear a
class?
helmet.
Are helmets available?
You can't go too fast.
Am I supposed to bring my helmet?
You have to bring a
All right,
helmet.
nobody's going to do that.
Nobody's going to do
Unless
that.
you already have one with you, I
Nobody
guess.
wants to wear helmets.
So wait, what else did they teach you? Get on and get off? And
Yeah, you have to kick off. You can't just like hop on and go because the button doesn't work. You have to like do a little kick.
Yes.
And it only goes 10 miles an
10
hour,
miles
not
an hour.
15. Mine, I thought, got to 13 though. But who
Yeah,
knows?
you had your little speedometer on there.
It says it. It's like a digital screen in front of you, and it tells you how fast you're going. And it doesn't do well on brick roads,
a little bumpy.
like super bumpy.
No shock.
I actually had a moment where I laughed and like had to open my mouth because I was like, I can't close my mouth. I'll bite my tongue off. You're going. It's wide. There's like a little break that you step down on in the back. I think they're gonna kill it though.
Fun though, right?
It's so easy.
Uh-huh.
And if you're a lady in a skirt or a boy in a skirt, you can just step right onto it and go.
Well, Florida's hot. I mean, it's nice now, but it's hot in July.
It is
Pedaling's hot.
which is why those electric assist bikes were doing so well,
Yeah,
John.
but you still got to pedal, and it's still hot.
But not as hot.
No,
which is
no, you're right.
We have this Orlando-grown Hopper bike share system. They're not electric assist yet. They're still working
Are
on
those
their.
bikes staying out?
They are.
They are.
Totally separate company. They're planning on keeping their bikes here.
But the Lime scooters are here to stay.
And they were fun. I was totally into it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Plus, we talked about this before, Brendan, that Orlando is a really good spot, I feel like, for scooters because it's so flat here, and
It
it
is.
doesn't snow.
Yeah. I feel like if you go up a hill, it kind of slows down a little bit, too.
I've used scooters in Paris, and it's a little hilly in Paris, and it's a little tough going uphill
It is.
sometimes.
On a scooter.
Yes,
Like
and
you
I
have to-
actually had my wife and I on one scooter, which you're not supposed to do, but it was cheaper to have two of us on
They
there.
didn't say if you could double ride on
They
a
did or
scooter.
didn't?
They did not. And so I would do that. I feel like it'd be romantic.
It was.
Was it?
She was
Yeah,
holding
that's
me.
like- oh, I
and-
like that.
Yeah, it was nice.
Can
You're
we do
probably
that?
not supposed to do it, though.
No, you probably burn out the engine or something, right?
Yeah.
There was a fire at the Orlando Union Rescue Mission.
I saw the news reports. This is right downtown, a few blocks from the Amway Arena. They actually own it. The Magic own that property,
They do.
and they're going to redevelop it here in a few weeks, months, years, whatever.
For the entertainment complex that they're planning.
Yeah, for a long, long time, it was the rescue mission where homeless, I think mostly men,
It's the men's shelter.
yeah, they would go and get something to eat and hang out.
It was the one that historically it had a big red neon sign. It's a God is love.
Yeah.
Something else. It was a longer message. But they actually rescued that sign.
It's been there for like 50 or 60 years, and I actually did a video on their new space, which is over on Colonial,
Yeah.
right by Jongyang,
In an old hotel.
an old hotel. They converted it. That's where their new shelter is, and they recrafted that sign, and they updated it. They made a brand new one made out of
It
materials.
doesn't look the same. Not as
It doesn't
cool.
look exactly the same, but I think it will last maybe a little bit longer.
If you want to see a picture of it, you can go to bungalower.com. I have a picture of the
it's
old
really
one and the
famous.
new
I mean,
one.
it's really well known.
Well, it
It
was
was.
designated a historic structure.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, it's not in great shape.
The sign.
The sign.
It's been outside. I'm not sure it was cared for its lifespan. The
all.
person who runs the shelter, he had told me that a lot of the parts were, old. I mean, it's an old sign, and so to get it refurbished and fixed, it was going to take a lot of money, and so that's why they at least recrafted another one that looks like it in its image.
I like the nod to it. That's
Yeah.
cool. They're going to put this old one, apparently, they're going to put it inside the building as like an art piece.
That'd be great.
I think it
So
should be a
this
dinner
fire-
table.
But this fire, what happened?
They don't know really yet. They haven't announced. They found some people inside the building. Actually, there were two fires. There was a fire very early in the morning where there was a bunch of people on the first floor. Put out the fire, got everybody out, and then not too long after, there was a second fire, and they found one person upstairs, and they had to get him out. I am going to go out on a limb, John, and say it was freezing cold, and there were homeless people there, and they lit a fire to stay warm, and it got out of control.
That sounds like a
Which is generally what happens.
possibility,
And
yes.
we always have a spike in fires in Orlando whenever
Yeah.
it's a cold snap.
Yeah.
So that's what happened.
All right.
Everybody
are
was
they gonna,
fine.
Are they going to like knock the building down eventually?
That,
or-
it'll have to happen anyway. It's going to be condemned, they probably think, in the next couple of bits. But I think we have time for one more before we close out. We teased you earlier, Lucky's Market
Closed. It's a big deal.
Huge deal.
Huge deal.
I want to say I broke the story after Sun Sentinel.
I saw somebody write about it, like, I think before anybody, but it was just like a post.
Yeah.
Hey, I heard Lucky's was closed.
On
and I
Facebook.
read that. I'm like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I don't remember who it was. And then I started seeing it, like, really be true.
It was 8. They got called in. Staff got called in at 7 a.m. You know what? I want to get into this.
You want to get into it?
Let's go to the break.
Okay.
Come back, and we'll tell you more about Lucky's closing.
Okay.
This is Erin from the Orange County Library System. We want to make sure that you know about these 3 things. Get centered with a free yoga class at our South Creek branch on January 27th. Adults and youth 7 and up, accompanied by a caregiver, are welcome to roll out their yoga mats and get limber. You've only got until the end of January to see our OCLS StoryCorps exhibit at the Orlando Public Library. Drop by and hear the stories of library customers, see the art of Thomas Thurspecken, and take the opportunity to tell your own story. Writing by hand is slowly becoming a lost skill, but you can help change that at our Hiawassee branch on January 27th. Introduction to Calligraphy will teach you about the origins of the craft and the materials you'll need to tackle endless projects. Learn about these 3 things and much more at ocls.info or call 407-835-7323. That's ocls.info or 407-835-7323. Orange County Library System is your place to learn, grow, connect.
This Saturday is the day. The Hullabaloo in Thornton Park is part music festival, part beach bash. Hullabaloo will bring musical acts Sugar Ray and Eve 6, as well as a host of local bands, including Oklahoma Stackhouse. For an all-day beach-themed festival in the middle of Florida winter, show up from 2 to 10 p.m. at Lake Eola this Saturday, January 25th. The event will feature an innovative rail jam. That's a motorized 150-foot-long wakeboard track in a pop-up pool all day. Guests will enjoy food trucks, libations, and activities for all ages. And Bungalower will have a VIP tent for our Bungalower Buddies members. Tickets are $15 at the day, $10 ahead of time. Bungalower Buddies get BOGO entry with their special code. Saturday, January 25th.
Welcome back to Bungalower and the Bus. I am the Bus, John Busdecker.
And I'm the math teacher that chore out your homework, Brendan O'Connor from Bungalower.com.
Brendan, we are hanging out by a fire. I'm having a beer. You're having a glass of wine.
Yeah, because I'm a woman.
Saying you are just maybe more, I don't even know the word. You're just better
Refined.
than me. Yeah, more refined. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Or
Yeah.
just more.
Yeah. But we are here at Palmer's in Audubon Park. They do something called Sip and Stroll once a month.
Once a month.
And you can hang out with the plants. You can bring your dog, apparently. We're
did.
sitting here by a fire. There's music playing in the background. There's drinks for sale. It's a lot of fun.
Kids running around barefoot.
Barefoot kids.
Yeah, I like that. These are. Oh, didn't you do a story once on free range kids?
I didn't, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
People who just let their kids do whatever they
I know
want.
somebody who does that.
Yeah.
She's not technically free range, but she lets them be themselves.
It seems like Darwinism to me. That's all I got to say.
Come check it out. They're actually not doing it next month in February, but they'll pick it back up in March. However,
They'll do 2 in March.
They're going to make up for it. However, if you just want to come to Palmer's and look at plants and buy plants, and you're like, you know what, I would love to drink some wine while I'm shopping, they got wine here for sale.
Which brings us to Lucky's, who we
Lucky's
have
Market.
come to love because they let you drink and shop.
True.
They are closing all of their Florida
Ripping
locations,
my heart out,
but
Brendan.
one.
But one.
Yeah, the Melbourne store will stay open.
Kind of weird to have one store stay
I haven't
open.
heard a story about why yet. It's not in my coverage area, so it doesn't make sense for me to
Must have
spend
a
the
different
time.
distribution center or something.
Or it's close enough to like an Atlanta shop. But I actually
Melbourne?
I got a list. Maybe
Melbourne's farther than we are.
Buy me some time. I got an email from them
Lucky's
today.
Market, if you're not familiar, is a grocer that moved into the Central Florida market about 2-3 years ago. There's one on Colonial. There's one in Soto. There was going to be one in Lake Mary and Claremont. And on Monday or Tuesday, word came down that they are closing down all 19 locations or 18 locations in Florida. A lot of them.
I think like 30
Okay,
something.
a lot of them,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
And if you haven't been to Lucky's, it's kind of like Whole Foods. It's kind of like Trader Joe's. It's kind of like, it's not Publix. It's like sort of the next echelon of grocery stores. They got everything. It's just, it's a lot more like Sprouts and Whole Foods than it is Publix and Winn-Dixie.
Yeah, and they
fair?
and they don't give money to fight polystyrene bans.
All those. I mean, they're all natural, organic. They probably don't have sweeteners, all that stuff.
I love them.
I mean, it's a great place, and you're right. You could get a beer while you're shopping. You could get some wine.
They had their main investor was Kroger,
Which is based in Cincinnati, Ohio, and they don't have any Krogers here in Florida.
and
that I
that's
know of.
because Kroger didn't want to compete directly with Publix.
Really?
So they invested in Lucky's to see
Okay.
how they went. They saw their quarterly report, their financials back in December, and said this isn't good enough. So they divested, took all their money, walked away. And I think they still are owed money from Lucky's. Lucky's was looking for shopping for another investor, didn't get them. And so they closed up shop. And they're keeping shop in Traverse City, Michigan, Cleveland, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, Columbia, Missouri, Melbourne, Florida, North Boulder, and Fort Collins, Colorado. But that seems like it.
And I think they were founded in Colorado, and they spread from there.
Yeah. So hopefully, one day they could come back.
I hope so. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't shop at Lucky's because it's not super convenient for me. It's a kind of farther on the other side of
For
town.
you, yeah.
It's just I have to go too far for it. However, I have been to Lucky's, and I like it. I think it's great, and I've gotten sandwiches from there, and it's a great market. So I feel bad for if that's in your neighborhood.
2,500 people lost their jobs. We were a little late taping tonight because Scotty Campbell really, really wanted to go and take advantage of the 25% off sale
Yes.
they're having right now, which we took advantage of, man. I dropped like $55 and I got 2 big old bags of groceries.
Can't beat that. You're gonna eat that.
Yeah, one of them was a giant bottle of like artisan olive oil.
That's $100 right there.
Basically, not anymore though.
But I want to say, Brendan, I mean, the grocery business is a tough business. There's a book called Grocery, which is on the app, the library app, the Overdrive app. If you're interested, the Orange County Library.
Okay.
It's a really good book, and it's all about the grocery business and how they work and how the produce works and where they get meat from and where they get seafood from. It's super fascinating.
I want to know where the Publix chickens come from.
I don't know.
I want to see the facilities where those chickens are.
I'm sure there's a distributor and they get it. But anyway, the point is their margins are really, really slim. And so a grocery store makes like 2 or 3% margins on their products. And so they got to sell a high volume to make a lot of money. Now most grocery stores do, but if you're not hitting those targets, you're losing money.
And that's probably what Kroger saw.
Yeah, and they said, we just can't we can't do this any longer. And I'm sure distribution's tough too with grocery stores because you got to have a vast network to make it worth your while. And if you have however many stores in Florida, it might just not be worth the money to do it all. So I mean, that's why Publix dominates. That's why Walmart dominates, and that's why Kroger dominates where they are because they have distribution.
You were the right person to talk about this, John.
It's a fascinating book. It sounds like it'd be boring, but it's so interesting where food comes from and how that whole business model is.
They're scheduled to close up shop on the 12th of February. They're going to run out of stuff before then because it was packed. It was packed with people.
Yeah.
I'll post a photo later on our Instagram of how many people were in line in front of me, but it was crazy.
I mean, it leaves you with, there's still a lot of options. I mean, let's be honest. There's still Publix and a few Winn-Dixie's, Walmart's, Whole Foods, Chamberlain's, Sprouts. So there's still options here in Central Florida.
Yeah.
But this is kind of one that we're losing.
Let's move on. I got a million other stuff.
All right, I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize for being passionate.
I am. Plus, I saw how well it did on your.
It did so well. I was the first person to write about it locally.
Awesome.
Yeah, which was great. We got a full. I'm still talking about it. Shout out to Alex Gertis, a Bungalower reader who actually works for Lucky's. who actually wrote a piece and sent it to me, which we included like as a letter to the editor. We didn't know him, so we couldn't give him a byline, and we had to quantify it, make sure he didn't make it up. So, but it was great piece, tons of information nobody else had. So shout out to Alex for sending that our way. I hope he finds a spot soon.
So get to Lucky's before they're gone.
Buy some things. Are you following this overlay district thing in Winter Park?
You told me about it last week about 12-hour meetings and...
So we've already talked about it.
We brushed on it.
It's basically an update to their land development code. So like it'll help them redirect development. Like it places new rules on a certain geographic area. And so they've put this new overlay district over that section of Orange Avenue where Buttermilk Bakery opens and Foxtail.
Kind of between Einstein's to the south. Well, I'm terrible with directions.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
From there to like...
Meat House.
Sure.
Yeah.
And people are crazy about it.
What are they crazy about?
Winter Parkers are afraid of development and dense growth. They don't want anything to change. That's why those meetings were so long. You mentioned it earlier. They had a meeting that
it was 12 hours.
12 hours until 2 a.m. because everybody wants their say. They're all saying the exact same thing, but they all want to be able to say it, which is great because that's what public...
They're engaged. They love their community. I get it.
But they all didn't necessarily understand what an overlay district is, because if they help with it, if they get... The whole process was to help control growth, and you can set the standards so that it's not super dense, crazy development if you're participating in that process. These people came in at the end of the process, and so because they weren't involved in the beginning of it, landholders like Dimitri Development, these people who own the old Lombardi's building, are a part of it, and they want to put in a 7-story super dense like mega building, which people aren't happy about.
Yeah,
right?
I can see that. That's for them. That's a tall building, and
they'll be knocking down Lombardi's building where the Heavy is eventually. The Heavy has a short-term lease. I think it's a 5-year lease. I could be wrong. And they want to put something dense there, but that's within their rights because they've been working with the city on the process.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, Winter Parkers, if you want to stop that from happening, you got to get in there early. You can't come in at the end.
And I will say there is a 7-story building across the street from there. So it's not like it's unheard of. It might be in the city of Orlando, but...
John, you can't treat all of Winter Park like Park Avenue.
No.
You can't.
No.
Which is why those uses are picking up along Mills Avenue at 1792, right? Because that's the only place for them to go, and they do well there. You couldn't put a Trader Joe's downtown; people would freak out.
Yeah,
but then they all are supporting it there on 1792.
Oh yeah, they want it. They want it in their town. They just don't want it by their part of town.
And they're not going to go into Mills 50 because they're afraid. Right? They'll go as far as Guest House. They'll go as far as Black Rooster Taqueria. But when they park, they feel like they're being edgy. I always hear them talk about it because I live over by Pink Floyd's. And when they park in front of my house, they're always like, "Oh, where are we?" Oh,
well, you live in a bad part of town.
I do, apparently. You can tell from my yard. Just interesting to keep an eye on it. The city approved it 3-2. Now it's going to go to the state. They review their process. It's going to come back for one more vote, but it'll go through. And Dimitri is pushing it. It's going to be it'll be a big, dense development. I don't see that changing.
Like apartments and stuff, or mostly office?
Yeah, it'll be like mixed use, kind of like Mills Park, kind of. Yeah, that's how I see it. Did we talk about the dog-friendly dining?
So last week we touched on this a little bit. There's a brewery, Rock Pit Brewing. They want they got some patrons who did not like that there was dogs in the brewery. Complained about it. Had a inspector come by, and the inspector's like, "You can't have your dog here," and they're like, "We're gonna have our dog here," and they wrote a big long blog post about it. And then I asked you if you were pro dog, and I said I was pro dog,
right?
And you were anti dog.
I wasn't anti dog.
I know, I'm just kidding.
I'm pro dog enough that not all dogs should be made to go out.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. So anyway, what is the update on that? You got an update?
So I did a story about it, and yes, it's illegal according to the Florida Department of Health, to have animals in a place where you consume food and beverage.
Okay.
Okay.
So wait, there's dogs here right now. Am I ratting them out right now?
You could get in trouble.
Okay.
Right?
Sorry
if
about
someone
that.
complained,
Ah.
a formal complaint. They're not actively enforcing
Yeah,
this, right?
somebody
But
has
if you
to complain
complain,
about it.
they are legally obligated to follow up within 48 hours, I think.
What if a squirrel runs through here? Does that count?
No, it's
okay.
You could
Squirrels
get
don't
shut
count?
down for pests. So
Really?
Actually, yeah. 'cause
Bees?
That's a pest. No, I don't know. No.
Beetles?
No.
Butterflies.
They're not
Birds.
prepping. They're not.
I'm just going through the bees right now.
They're not prepping food on site.
True.
So it's a little different.
All right.
This specific spot, I'm sure is fine.
All right.
It's like a pop-up. It's a special event. This doesn't count. But for breweries who love having dogs and kids there,
I like how you put those two together.
I don't always want kids around drinking. I don't think there should be kids at breweries. I get that it's fun. They can run around. But, like, I'm getting drunk, and I'm not going to edit what I'm saying because your kid's in front of me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a stranger. I don't know you.
You're a stranger danger.
You know what? Yes. So keep your kid away from me while I'm drinking a beer. So I don't want power to you. I'm glad you're breeding, but like, don't expect me to relegate my behavior in a public space.
True.
Because you brought your
I
kid
think
there.
that's fair enough in a bar. I think that is fair enough in a bar.
I don't know why breweries are suddenly neutral territory.
I have a problem when adults are rowdy in places where kids are. And they're allowed to be like a soccer game.
Oh, yeah, that's
we
weird.
can go on a whole thing about that.
Orlando City, it can get really heated.
I think you should have a little respect for
I agree.
families. But anyway, go ahead.
So, but you can get a dog-friendly dining permit from the city of Orlando that makes you exempt from that rule at the state.
So why don't they just pay that?
Exactly. It's $275. It only allows you to have dogs on the patio or an outdoor space. But it's a city ordinance. You could just work with the city to make it so it's the whole property.
Yeah.
You know, like, and so instead of having a petition to the state, which they're not going to listen to, the state's not going to listen to a petition. Bring it to the city and bring it to your city commissioner and work with them to expand the ordinance.
That's a good idea.
So that's what we wrote about. And then I got a list, John, of who actually has the permit.
I saw that. So wait, read a few of them.
Well, okay, let me ask you, what do you think about sharing a list? I got the list of the businesses that actually have the permit, and it's like 13.
Yeah.
And it's really none of the places where people are actually bringing their dogs.
Really?
Yes. And so I felt like I was a narc. By like, if I hit publish, here's where 13 places where you can legally bring your dog.
I think that's a perfectly legitimate thing to put up online.
Because you're a journalist.
Yeah.
But I know I'm going to get hate mail.
Why?
I just am a little nervous.
What was the hate mail? Explain an example of hate mail.
Oh, man. I'll share my hate mail with you.
Okay.
But I can see someone being like, why'd you rat me out? Now we can't have dogs here. It's all your fault.
No. They can pay for the permit and have dogs there.
So I'll read it here. I don't think I'm going to post it. I'm still meditating on it. But we can refer people here to their show.
All right.
Colibri, the Mexican place in Baldwin Park. Graffiti Junction.
Yeah.
In Thornton Park and College Park.
Great.
Lucky Lure, Ivanhoe Village. Ollie's. Teak Grill, College Park. Tijuana Flats in Mills 50. Relax Grill. That's the one at Lake Eola.
Yeah.
Mesa 21, that space. First Watch, Mills 50. Jack's Cafe in Thornton Park. Marlowe's Tavern, Boxy Park, and Rock and Brews Brewery. And there's a couple of others, but I didn't know what they were.
All right.
Yeah.
No, that's great. It's good to know.
Right? But those are the only ones with this permit. They're the only ones that if the city or the state comes calling, they're the only ones that can produce it. And again, $275, peace of mind.
It could be like they don't know about that permit's
I think
available.
they don't know. When I started, before I hit publish on that story, I called up Rock Pit and was like, I'm about to hit publish on this. I know you're fighting the state right now or something, but you could get a permit right now.
But they don't want the permit for a patio. They want it for the whole thing.
Right, but it'll be years before you're allowed to do that. You could get a permit now, and then your customers who love visiting you with their dogs could still hang out on the patio. It's beautiful weather now. Pace yourself.
True.
Do this now and you're safe.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Run out of time. Opera Orlando is hosting a Western-inspired production of a show at the Cheyenne Saloon. So it's like a Western opera in a Western bar.
Love it. I don't think that place is used properly.
I agree.
I think they should have way more events there. I think people love country music. Why would they not make that like a country bar?
Wouldn't you love to see some concerts in there?
I would love to see a concert
man.
there.
So this is called The Girl of the Golden West, and it's taking place at Cheyenne Saloon and Ceviche Ballroom. So you trade venues during different acts. It's on Friday, February 7th, and Sunday, February 9th. If you want more information, just type Opera Orlando into the bungalower.com search bar and you'll find it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was really neat. Alicia Keys is coming to town in March. That's cool. Tickets, September. Tickets go on sale March, I think. We're in Audubon Park. The Audubon Park Main Street District wrote on their Facebook about Gene's Auto Service.
Okay.
About a new tenant. It's called the Salty Donut. They said Salty Donut's coming.
So that closed a few months ago. We talked about it a while ago.
It did, and then we were told that a restaurant was moving in, and then everyone's like, you're an idiot. That's not true. And I was like, okay, that's what I heard. But they said the Salty Donut from Miami, which is like an Instagram sensation. They've got spots in a few spots around the country, is coming, and Salty Donut was like, wink, wink, maybe, who knows? Who told you? Wink, wink. And then I was like, everyone's like, oh, you're totally coming. So I reach out to them, and they're like, maybe.
Nobody confirmed.
Nobody's confirmed, but we would like, if Orlando wants us to come, they have to go online and write a whole form asking us to move here and telling us why.
Really?
Yeah. So
people going to do that or not?
I don't think so.
I wouldn't do that.
Who cares?
Not to say that they probably have great donuts. I just don't know if I'd go out of my way to plea and beg for a donut shop.
There's a giant poo hanging out at Lake Eola. It's a 30-foot inflatable poo emoji that you can sit inside of.
I saw the photos.
Thank you. My photo.
Your photo.
Which got used on Fox 35 and Channel 6. Like, you can't send someone to take a photo of a big poo? Whatever.
Apparently
it's
not.
On you. That poo's on you.
How long is it here for?
Till like Saturday night. Poo-pourri, that it's like a spray you spray on the toilet so you don't get embarrassed because of your smelly poos. They brought it, and you're supposed to go sit inside and like meditate on things that hold you back.
Did you do that?
Let that S go. No, I didn't go inside. I just took a picture of it and left. There's an 8-story hotel that wants to move into Lake Eola. It's by MMI Development. They're in the early master plan development with the city, but they're looking to put a 107-foot tall building that's 150 units of luxury hotel use stuff and a townhome out back, and we'll see if it happens. It's in that space where there's a game co-working space. Our friend Carolyn Caper works out of there.
To me.
Yeah.
Co-working spaces.
It's a single-story spot looking out at Lake Eola, like prime location. So weird looking. It looks like a cake. Tim Capello, a saxophonist from the Lost Boys.
I love it. I love the Lost Boys, the movie.
Oh my gosh, we're running out of time. That's it. We'll come back.
He's playing at Will's Pub.
Type saxophone into bungalower.com. You'll hear more. Let's go to Sarah with the events.
Hey Orlando, I'm Sarah the intern, and here are the best events happening this weekend. Orange County Heritage Day is happening on Saturday from 10 to 5 p.m. at the Orange County Regional History Center. This community event is celebrating 175 years of officially being named Orange County. We were originally called Mosquito County, if you didn't know that. Learn some more at this event. Discover the different historical sites and museums around Central Florida. Hullabaloo at Lake Eola is also happening on Saturday from 2 to 10 p.m. This is an epic beach party. It'll be featuring Sugar Ray and Eve 6. There'll be music happening all day and live performances. There'll also be this crazy awesome 150-foot long wakeboard rail jam. Check it out. They'll be doing flips, they'll be doing tricks, and there's gonna be a pool at Lake Eola. General admission costs just $10, but if you're looking to get a little extra, the VIP package costs $75. Harmony Dark Sky Star Party is happening as well on Saturday from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. This is an all-day event happening at Bach Towers. You can check out the magic of natural darkness, see a world without light pollution. There'll be an astronomy-inspired concert, and it'll be a perfect opportunity for you to learn more at this educational and family-friendly event. It's $15 for adults, and kids 12 and under get in for $5. If you're looking for a party, Wall Street Plaza Snowball is happening Saturday, starting at 9. The party goes on till 2 in the morning. There'll be snow on Wall Street. I mean, coming down from the sky and landing on the street. They'll have drink specials and $4 Coronas. The Manatee Festival is happening Saturday and Sunday at Valentine Park in Orange City. It starts at 9 in the morning and goes till 5 p.m. both days. Check it out. They'll have a free shuttle bus to Blue Springs State Park if you want to see the manatees. There'll be rock wall climbing, bungee jumping, walk on water balls. Tell me that doesn't sound awesome. If you want to check it out, for adults, it's $8. Kids 4 to 10 get in for $2. Kids 3 and under are free. And if you want to bring your furry friend, dogs have a admission price of $10. That's all for this weekend event roundup. I just want to remind you to be safe, be happy, and have fun. I'm Sarah the intern, and if you're wanting to check out more, there's cool events on bungalower.com/events.
Oh, that's Sarah. She needs a raise.
No raise. Intern slave labor. She's basically my prison intern.
She gets credit.
She does get credit.
Good.
So much credit.
Good. Not from you.
No.
UCF.
No, and her parents who give her credit for everything. Get a ribbon for participating. Thank you for tuning in to Bungalower and the Bus. If you want to hear more about these stories, go to bungalower.com. And thank you to our friends here at Palmer's.
This is great.
Inviting us to the Sip and Stroll so I can see that super hot dude in the tight pants.
I'm wearing tight pants and I'm next to you.
You're okay.
See you guys next week.